You see the mist that came out of that?
Yeah, that was like a commercial.
Mm.
Lemon lavender.
This is a lemon lavender
drink can. Really cool cannabis beverage brand. Not sponsored, wish it was. Really cool company, really cool branding, clean ingredients, really yummy. I'm pretty sure it's like pretty low in sugar, only a handful of calories.
And as you guys know, I'm not a smoker at all. And weed technically, or like any THC product usually freaks me out, makes me anxious. But these actually pretty chill.
They're just the perfect amount. They're 2 milligrams with 4 milligrams, right? Yeah. So 2 THC, 4 CBD. So I feel like the CBD, the way I look at it, I don't know if this is scientific, but whenever I read those, I'm like, okay, so the CBD hits me
2 times as much
to calm me down for how the weed might make me feel.
Yeah, totally.
Which that's probably what it's doing.
Yeah.
Maybe not in that order, but the two together. I know CBD works better with THC, so that's another really good benefit.
It needs like to activate it,
like oomph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are delicious.
The lemon lavender is good.
Yeah. I think the ginger lemongrass one's my favorite though.
Yeah, that one's really nice. I just love anything ginger.
And lemongrass.
Yeah.
You are everything ginger.
Oh my God,
if I'm
ginger.
picking out Bev for you and there's something with ginger in it, I'm just getting that one.
Ginger. Yeah.
And if there's not ginger, my next for you, hibiscus.
Oh, love hibiscus.
Yeah, you love hibiscus. What am I drinking? Thank you for asking. I am drinking, I guess, Patreon people, you will know this on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
We have a story time coming out on Friday for Patreon. Very fucking crazy story time. Just
go.
Holy fuck.
It.
But silver lining of the tragedy of that story time.
Right.
I stole this cup from, what was that place called? Hook and something.
Hook. I don't know. It was just like a
seafood place.
Yeah, crawfish spot.
And on Coney Island, and I stole this cup because the day was just full of fuckery, and I said, you know what, we're gonna get something good.
The klepto's gonna come out in me tonight.
Yep. And I got the cup. Look how cool! Great diner cup, Pepsi Cola plastic, just classic like pizza shop cup.
But I will say it was valid because the service was actually. First of all, we wanted to sit outside, obviously, because it was a nice day. And you had to pay $5 per person to sit outside. And we thought it was going to be like popping out there. Service was going to be going in and out.
That's why there was a cover charge.
Yeah, we thought there was a cover charge because it was going to be busy. But so we like pay the $5 each. And we get up there. And there's no one outside. And on top of it, literally like not a single person.
No, it was just us.
And on top of it, they don't serve food out there. So you had to order inside and they gave you your food to go. And then we had to eat it out there. So like
we paid to eat or
right.
to go food.
Right.
I could have just sat on the sidewalk or something.
And we like made it clear like, oh, we just like, we want to eat at the restaurant. And they're like, yeah, you could eat upstairs. We're like, what the fuck? Yeah. So that was justified.
That was, yeah, whatever. They were so awful. So I stole something. And inside my cup right now is raspberry tea. It's by the brand Yogi. I brewed it and then I poured it over ice. It's not caffeinated or anything, but this is pre-recorded. And I guess when this comes out, we will be already a few days into our Yosemite trip. But past Kristen here, hello. I'm about to start my fucking period, which I'm fine with, but I want to start before. I already know I'm going to be on it at least a few days, maybe the whole week while I'm there, but I would just rather start before so I could at least like get through the first day.
Yeah.
Because my first day is always the most painful. So I've heard that raspberry tea is good for kind of like inducing your period, and then vitamin C. And I took like a double dose of vitamin C today. So I don't know.
Hopefully it hits.
We'll see.
It worked for Leanna. Leanna did like the same tactic before she came here to GovBall. She's like, I have to start my period before. Yeah. And it worked for her.
Yeah. She also did a period meditation kind of. It was like a YouTube video she listened to, and I guess I could try that.
Try it. But I will say,
just think,
if you're going into it with a mindset,
yeah. I have a feeling, and like just knowing where my body's at right now, and like the order that my symptoms come pre-period, I'm probably going to start either Friday or Saturday. So it's either going to be on the plane to the Bay,
right,
or the first day of Yosemite. I'm going to fucking start.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
How long do they usually last? What's your
It just
like
depends.
average? Okay.
It depends. Like some periods will be 3 days, some will be 8.
Okay.
Like I'm so
all over the place.
It is not up to me.
Yeah. Hopefully
is in
you
the Lord's
get it.
hands.
Let's throw it in the universe. Hopefully you get like a 3-dayer, because Tuesday is the rafting day. You'll be fine.
I will be, like I said, even if it is an 8-dayer, as long as the first day is a day that I could be like relatively chill, I'll be fine.
Sorry to interject. You have to be 21 and up to drink these?
Yeah. To buy weed too.
Really?
Are you good?
Well, I've never,
Are you 21?
like, first of all, I've never like legally bought weed.
Yeah. Yeah, you have Sweet Flower. Remember those little like pretty joints that you had?
Oh, yeah. So the
Those
one
were
time,
really pretty.
but I was over 21. So I guess
Yeah.
I'm talking about before I was 21. I never
No.
like dealt with
It wasn't legal to buy.
Right.
How crazy is
I just
that?
didn't know you had to be 21.
Yeah. All right, enough rambling. Dave, roll the intro.
I didn't know I could feel like that.
Hi, everybody. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Safe travels to work right now or wherever the hell you're going.
I think we mentioned this maybe a couple episodes ago.
Episodes.
I'm so sorry, guys. Episodes ago, or maybe it was on Patreon, but Kristen, you've been having some sleep paralysis consistently.
Yeah.
So the other morning, I woke up and I kind of just like groggily walked out of my bedroom.
Wait, I really liked that word, groggily.
Groggily.
Oh, that felt good to hear.
It was,
Sorry,
it
go
was
on.
groggly for sure. I walked out of my bedroom. I gave pet a little Link. What is up?
It's opposite day.
I gave Link a little pet and I laid on the couch. Kristen's door was open, and like every time I come out of my room in the mornings and Kristen's door is open, I know she's awake. And her door was open. And I heard like scrolling on TikTok, like different
Sound to
audios.
sound.
Yeah, sound to sound, different voices. And it was a clear, like I walked out and I saw her open door and I heard the TikToks and I just like envisioned her, which is like a standard visual.
Yeah,
like
that's the mornings we have.
you do this in the morning, where like it was a very clear picture. Like you were in bed scrolling on TikTok.
Yep.
And I sat on the couch and I was just like kind of scrolling, and like something funny happened and I like laughed out loud. And usually if I like someone laughs out loud, we go, what? Like, what's funny?
What was it?
And I was like, in my head, you didn't say anything, even though I knew you like heard me. So I was like, okay, maybe she just like fell back asleep on her phone or something, or like she just didn't hear me. And then 2 minutes later, Kristen walks through the front door. And I literally turn around and
she gave me the craziest look at you guys. Because I went and got a coffee. My first instinct when I saw the look on her face was, oh my God, she's mad that I didn't ask if she wanted anything. So I go, I didn't ask if you wanted a coffee. You had a leftover coffee in the fridge.
And I go,
You were like,
no. I was like, when did you, I remember like skipping over my words. I was like, when did you leave?
Yeah.
Like maybe I happened to miss you, like
Sure.
walk by, but like also in my head, I was only out there for like 5 minutes.
No. Yeah. When I left to go get coffee, your door was still closed.
Yeah. So I was like, I told her, I've been hearing TikToks, you scrolling on your phone for the past 5-10 minutes.
My phone was with me. My TV was not playing any sound. My computer was shut. Like,
And
I
like,
don't know what you were
I
hearing.
swear to God, you guys, it's silent here in the mornings.
Oh,
like
yeah.
our apartment is pretty fucking soundproof. Like even when there's sirens and shit going outside, like inside the
bad.
apartment, it's, especially when in the mornings, it's like dead air.
Yeah.
So when I heard what I heard, it was such an obvious, oh, she's on her phone.
Yeah.
And different
That freaked me
voices,
out.
different voices. So I told Kristen this, and she goes and she like opens up TikTok on her phone and puts it in her room and comes out to the living room. And I was like, that's exactly what I heard the whole time. And you know how like when you hear someone scrolling on TikTok in another room, you can't make out words.
Yeah.
You can't make out like exact
content
audio or
itself.
like context, but you just hear different voices.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It's almost like ballroom chatter, but through the
like
phone.
individual too.
Yeah.
And it sounded like it was coming through a phone.
I don't know, man. She told me that, and that was just like the cherry on top of, I mean, this week specifically, but we've honestly kind of always felt a little bit of a presence, especially in my room. Right when you walk into my room, there's like a hallway is a very dramatic term.
It's like a little, you have an extra wall.
Yeah, that's just like a skinny, 3-foot walkway, and then it opens up to the rest of my room. I feel like that's a better way, like
like a little path.
Sure. I was gonna say archway, but it's not arched. You guys get what I'm trying to say. And like, if you watch my vlogs, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
That area specifically has been a place where when we're on the couch, we mentioned this even a few months ago when we were in the midst of the Sam and Colby series.
Yeah.
We were telling you guys like that was a moment where, seeing shit in the corner of our eye, and every time I'm on the couch, at like 100% of the time when we are on the couch watching something is always constantly catching my eye in that same spot. I feel it too. During the winter, I take baths literally every day. And every time I'm in the bath, I always like turn and like, feel something. And whatever it is, whoever they are,
it's not malicious.
Not dark. It's not, the only thing that's scary is the feeling of being, of the unknown. But other than that, it's not like a demonic thing. And I'm sure they're listening right now. Like, respect.
You're welcome.
And I even like whenever I do feel presence anywhere, whether it's here, a hotel room or whatever, I always say like, just don't mess with me. Mm-hmm. Don't play tricks on me. Don't scare me. Like,
just respect each other's space.
Let's just let's coexist. Like, you just talk to them like a roommate.
Right.
And so we kind of go in and out of phases of feeling said energy. And as Alex started this with, I've had sleep paralysis. I had sleep paralysis for 4 days in a row. I haven't had it the past 2 days, which is good. But I've still been having some pretty fucking wacky dreams. I'm not smoking. I haven't smoked in almost 3 months. I haven't, don't drink. My last drink was our last episode that we fucking recorded. Like I'm going to bed sober. I'm not taking melatonin. Like, before you ask, there's no reason. Why? And I say that, not that there always has to be a reason to have paralysis, but me personally, I typically only have sleep paralysis if I'm like super, super, super stressed out, which I would not say I am right now. Thank you, universe. Or if I have done drugs, which I haven't done drugs since Govball.
Right.
I did shrooms, by the way. I feel like I need to say that because drugs,
and
it could have been anything.
Right.
I think I need to preface that. So it's been, almost 2 months. I don't know what's up. Kind of is what it is. Sleep paralysis has never like scared me, but 4 nights in a row that's new. I've never had that.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Sleep paralysis is exhausting.
It got like annoying.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to sleep.
To like exert the energy that you have to like
throw yourself to wake yourself up.
It's really exhausting.
Yeah. I immediately called my sister, as I do with anything like dream related, because she also has sleep paralysis quite a bit. And I had a big conversation with her the 4th day that I had it, because I was like, dude, like, this has been happening. And she was like, next time you're in it, try and not fight it and lean back and like fall back asleep into it. And 9 times out of 10, you can start lucid dreaming.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, sick. Like, I'll try that. And I think now that I'm super open, like now I almost like want to get it so I can try and go lucid.
You can't.
Now I haven't had sleep paralysis. Yeah. So of course, but
I would be afraid to try and go lucid in like for me personally, like in a scary state like that.
Yeah. So out of the 4, 2 of them were scary. The other 2 were just like the normal paralysis. So those ones I would have felt comfortable, but yeah, the scary ones, it was the second night I had it. It was so scary. And like, did I tell this already?
It might've been Patreon.
I'll wrap it up. But The scary one I'm talking about, I was on my stomach and like obviously like head turn, like, you know, when you sleep with like your leg up, it's the best way to sleep.
So cozy.
I was like that, experiencing the paralysis, and I felt, or like from the corner of my eye, from what I could see, because my head was, you know, turned, I saw the big black figure, as a lot of people say they see, in my corner. And then I closed my eyes, obviously couldn't move. And then I felt what felt like, you know, hands kind of like, if I say hands walking, you're going to picture a handstand, and I don't want you to, but like just like pressure on my legs. Like someone was like touching my legs.
Yeah.
Link was on the other side where she always is. So I know it wasn't Link, and Link doesn't have her. If she walked on me, which we both know Link does not walk on you because she raw-roos.
Yeah.
If she doesn't like when our legs are under her. She doesn't like touching. Exactly. But yeah, it was like human hands. That one scared me so bad that I always count myself down. So yeah, little tip if you're ever in sleep paralysis, a little 3, 2, 1, and like throw yourself usually does the trick. And I did that. This was at like 4 a.m. by the way. I was telling Alex, I remembered trying to yell her name. I've had a few dreams where I know I'm trying to yell your name, and I'm always wondering if I'm successful.
I don't think so, because actually this reminds me, the second time I've ever had sleep paralysis, I thought it was I think it was the day after Coachella, and I thought it was at Tyrone, and I thought you were in the kitchen, and I yelled. I was trying to yell Kristen, and I just knew, I like know that if you actually were in the kitchen and I yelled Kristen, then
I would have ran right over.
Yeah. So
yeah, I doubt it came out. I feel like I also would have known by the feeling of my vocal cords.
Exactly.
Because when I was yelling, and I guess what was the dream, it was like,
screaming. And I think I would have woken
100%. You would have. But yeah, so that was at like 4 a.m. and that shook me up so bad that after the 3, 2, 1, I sat up. Link was like, oh, what's going on? It was still dark outside. I turned on TV. The first thing I did, I was like, I'm just going to go to YouTube and like watch like literally the first video that comes up. And it was Trisha's birth video for baby Elvis. Aww. So I sat there and was just like, what? I was like, this will make me feel better. And I watched it, and then I didn't fall back asleep till like maybe like 5:30. That one, like even when I woke up again at like 7:30, 8 for like the day, I walked to get coffee, and I was still in this like, I think I imagine it was a kind of a version of fight or flight, because I was still having an adrenaline come down. And I don't know if like you guys could relate to this, but whenever I have adrenaline come downs, I get chills like I'm getting sick. Not like I'm cold, but like, you know, when you get chills and you're sick, it's like
internal.
It's like your nerves kind of get sensitive for like a millisecond, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
Those type of chills. Okay. I was getting that for like my whole walk to get coffee and to come back. I think my body was still just like
you're coming down from it.
Oh, that one was spooky.
Mate, was that the day that I thought I heard you in your room?
No.
Okay. So
that day I didn't have paralysis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was probably like a couple days ago.
Yeah. That was probably like a week ago now. I don't know. I've been good though. But like, hey,
the
universe, let it happen again, because I want to try and lucid dream.
Yeah.
Actually, Kaya sent me, I was telling Kaya how I stopped smoking weed, and I told you this too. She sent me these like, or she ordered them for me, herbal joints, and they're mugwort. So I'm going to look up, because I know mugwort tea, if you drink it, it can aid like dream exploration, but I don't know about smoking.
Yeah. Any form of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Ooh, I might buy one off you. Is it like a little pack?
Yeah, I actually haven't opened it, but it looks like probably like 8.
If you're willing to get rid of one, I'll try it with you.
Yeah, for sure.
I love mugwort. Yeah, like I said, the veil is thin here, so there's a vibe. That's for sure.
Yeah, something.
It's something.
Hi guys. So I'm sure you've heard of the flavored air category quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. It's a whole new movement towards better habits, led by the sponsor of today's episode, Fume.
Fume is an award-winning flavored air device, and flavored air isn't like vaping. So there's no vapor, no nicotine, and non-toxic flavors.
Yeah, so think about it. If vapor was compared to a sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to an herbal tea. There are several flavors to choose from, like crisp mint and orange vanilla.
Ours are actually on their way, and I can't wait to try the orange vanilla.
The mint's gonna be nice. I love like the cool tone with like
So
a
refreshing.
crispy cold bev. Oh baby.
With Fume, you can easily satisfy your oil fixation, and what's great is they don't use any batteries. So you'll never need to charge it, and they won't combust on you.
Not only is it a high quality design, but it's made to fidget with. So it really calms your anxiety. It has little magnets, snaps, and clicks, which is amazing. You guys know we're pickers of our fingers and whatnot. So I just know I'm going to love this.
Fume continuously invests in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products, and it's backed by doctors in the U.S.
Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story. For a limited time, use our code Oddvice to get a free gift with your journey pack.
Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com and use code Oddvice to get a free gift with your order today.
Thanks, Fume. Okay, hopping into today's topic. I thought of today's topic around the time that we were recording what's coming out on Patreon this Friday. Again, you will hear all the story time of that, but it surrounded the feelings of embarrassment and like shame and remorse, both heavy and light definitions of that feeling. You know, like when you trip in front of your crush, or when you're like re-questioning your life because you're so ashamed of something. Like just that overall feeling of embarrassment was kind of something that was, part of the conversation, and it had me thinking. And like I say this a lot, I feel like we've talked about this before briefly, but things are only embarrassing if you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this is such a good topic to talk about. I feel like it's something all ages can benefit from hearing too. And even just that phrase alone, I feel like the first time I heard that phrase, I don't know where I heard that. I feel like my mom damn near told me that one.
I was going to say, because I actually looked it up, and I think
my mom said it first.
Everything that I saw, one person in particular, I don't know if it was in like some specific self-help book. Self-help book.
You got me on that one too.
Yeah, so I think someone might have said it, but I couldn't find like an exact source.
Yeah, no, I have no fucking idea who said it first, but I think that was one. That is a big thing that I feel like my mom and Phil, my stepdad, if you don't know, did push on me. They were like, it's not, just own it. Just fucking own it.
To like not give a fuck.
Yeah, to literally just not give a fuck. And I'm very grateful.
I was going to say, that's a very, like, I don't know if niche is the right word, but it's a pretty niche thing that I think parents teach their kids. And it's something that's so important to teach, especially at the age that I'm sure you like really took it in, because that's when it matters. And it like really sets the tone for how you feel about these kinds of situations when you're an adult.
Great point. I think it was not so much teaching, but it was also like leading by example. Like, I mean, my mom, Phil, like they're both just like, and
they're like both the least vain people in the entire world.
Literally. And like, I don't know. I even feel like this one is kind of funny. Maybe my head goes here because camping is in our universe right now, but like camping growing up, my mom would even be like, I'd be like, Mom, I need to go pee. And she's like, go behind that tree over there. I'm like, what if somebody sees me? And she's like, who cares?
Whereas like, usually that would be like an embarrassing moment.
Cover yourself up. Yeah. Which, okay, maybe this is a bad example because don't just pee anywhere in public, you guys.
No, that's not.
That's not what I'm saying here. It was just, I think little moments like that with my family were the moments that drilled it in me that it was just like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
And I really be living like that now.
Yeah. I think that's it's a learned thing too, because it's one thing to be taught that or to be like shown that as a kid, but if you're not, which is I feel like more so
common.
More so common, but like more so I was going to say more so how I was brought up, like it wasn't really pushed on us to not give a fuck. I feel like once I got into my teen years, it was more of an obvious statement of like, try not to worry about what other people think about you. And like, that was kind of the first spark when I started to, I mean, as a teen, it's like so natural to care about what other people think about you.
And but I did. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been good and gravy all my life. I still gave a fuck.
Right.
But it's how you internalize it.
Yeah.
And how long you let it, like how long you dwell on it, and like
right.
how long you're embarrassed about it. And
yeah. And that's like the
that's
different like variances based on when it's first introduced to you too.
Yeah. Yeah. I even feel like after you do something embarrassing, what's worse, the act itself or the shower thoughts for 2 weeks where you keep replaying what just happened and you're like, oh my God, they're probably thinking this right now. They've probably told these people. Da, 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 da.
I still to this day, like I'll be in the shower is so real. I'm so glad you brought that up because
those are my big brain thoughts.
Yeah. I will still be standing in the shower and think about something that I did 7 years ago. 7 years ago. And the thing that I did was like a 2-minute
if that
funny noise that I made, or like a weird sentence that I said that like was interpreted weird. Like it's the little things that really stick with you that you fucking mull over.
Yes, you
that,
internalize it.
Yeah, it's like the self cringe.
Yeah.
You cringe about the things that you've done. But every time I do have those moments in the shower, I'm like, okay, but that happened so long ago.
Yeah.
What are the odds that the person who witnessed that or that happened around even fucking thought about it 5 minutes later?
No.
Never.
And I could say like 9.8 times out of 10, they're not thinking about it again.
No.
Anybody who's witnessed anything, a trip, a fall, I feel like a big one that I do a lot is I constantly misspeak. Like, I don't know, just
Me
like
all episode.
yeah, even that type of stuff. But like, you don't care that you did that. And like, but you know, to people who might be listening, I know that is something where people are like, oh my God, I just sounded so stupid. Oh, da, da, da.
It's like
I already forgot. You just said that. And I was like, oh yeah. Like I already forgot that you misspoke.
And that's the thing. It's the rabbit hole of over analyzing every single thing that you've ever done and how minuscule it really is. And like, think about the amount of time it took for that embarrassing thing to happen. Like me switching up my words.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to sit here and over analyze the situation and like I said, go down the rabbit hole of, oh my God, people are going to think I'm stupid. Oh my God, I'm not worthy of having this podcast because I can't even talk anymore. Oh my God. Like, but that's real. That's the overthinking part of feeling the embarrassment after something happens. But if you kind of nip that in the bud right there after it happens and like actually let it go away and let it kind of sit. As you guys know, I'm a visual person. So something that I do is like our life is a timeline, right? And as we're going through time, everything that we're doing is kind of stuck on the timeline when it happens. And for me, embarrassing things really stick.
Yeah.
Like everything else has lasting effects and like sprinkles into later on down in the time in your timeline. But embarrassing moments for me that like I really know don't matter, those stay there and they do not move past where they originally occurred on my timeline.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give it the power to determine my worth or what other people think of me or what I think of myself. It just sits where it sits.
I love that analogy. That's really good. And those embarrassing things they're just silly moments.
Yeah.
Like humans do silly little stupid things sometimes, especially on accident. And anybody who's like gonna give you that much shit about it, like that's their own problem. Because I actually want to talk about that for a sec, because we've all felt secondhand embarrassment for someone. And like when we were brainstorming this episode, I even challenged myself to like think about times that I felt secondhand embarrassment. I mean, fuck, even watching like Love Island would be one, right?
Yeah.
I think secondhand embarrassment is purely out of projection.
Totally.
It's like, if I was in that situation,
I would feel some
I
type
would
of
feel
way.
like this. But then I even think about, okay, so then put myself in that situation. Like I don't think I'd even feel that. Like I don't know. I'm still trying to understand secondhand embarrassment. But I do think it does boil down to like just being projecting and like teasing.
Yep. I think it's a lot of mirroring, but I think secondhand embarrassment too. If you actually sit here and think, okay, for the Love Island example, because I actually pulled a lot of Love Island examples when we were preparing for this episode. Not like actual examples, but like I referenced Love Island a lot.
Got it.
But if someone does something like silly or cringy, or they like kind of flirt funky on Love Island, me and Kristen will look at each other and we'll be like, oh, I have like secondhand embarrassed. Like, oh, it's hitting right now.
Yeah.
But then even in that moment, after that happens, I don't remember what it was.
Good point.
It's still like the embarrassment lives then
For a millisecond.
but then it's gone. And like that person will come up on the screen again, and that what had happened did not make me form an opinion about that person.
The next time they come on the screen, we're like, oh my God, I love them.
Yeah.
Like,
I think a huge thing is to not let embarrassing moments define you, because that is the spiral that really gets us.
that's a good point.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, another thing that I do, if you can't tell, this happens a lot. I get anxiety a lot. And if you relate to this at all, you know that after a night of drinking, you literally just sit there and think about every single thing that you said or you did the night before. And you just think, oh my God, I'm so dumb. Like that's just the feeling of anxiety. And I get that a lot. But something that I do that really helps me kind of like free myself of that embarrassing feeling is I picture someone that I love doing the same thing.
Love that.
And I would never like overanalyze them doing it in the way that I'm overanalyzing myself doing it. And that really helps me like give myself some grace, because even at like going back to the anxiety example and having a drunk night out, if I like dance weird or just do anything that I like cringe at the next day, if another person did that, I'm not even thinking about that the next day. So like
it was just part of the night out.
It's part of the night out. And what are the odds that anyone else who was out with me is thinking, oh my God, Alex was dancing so weird last night. Like it's just
and
not.
Boom, it's out of your head.
Yep.
That perspective is like, if you're going to take away anything from this episode, that's it right there. It's, you can, side note, that perspective is also good for when you're trying to learn self-compassion.
Yeah.
Would you say those things to someone you love? No, like that perspective is a very good tool in like all forms of life. So keep that in your back pocket.
Totally.
But yes, to this point, and the night out thing, that is so true, because I'll have those moments too of the dancing thing is such a good point, because I imagine when I'm drunk, my dance moves aren't as good
and
as
I'm
when
sloppy and I'm slurring.
Sure.
Like,
I'm like, oh.
but I'm having a blast.
Right. And like, that's what people will remember of that
Yep.
moment is like, yo, Alex is getting down. Like we were all getting down. Like, and that's what the memory, nobody's like, last night, Alex hit the 2-step backwards and it was like so not cool. Like
right.
Literally. Yeah. It's only embarrassing if you're embarrassed. Like embarrassed can't live if you don't feel it. So
right.
like you are in control of something being embarrassing or not. So even that next day with anxiety, or God, in the moment you just did a dance move and you kind of like stepped in the bathroom real quick and you looked in the mirror and you're like, I need to chill. Like that was super embarrassing. No, it wasn't. Let me know if this is a stretch, but I almost look at it as like when a baby falls, and you know how parents say like, some parents are like, don't react. Because if you go, oh baby,
they'll feed into that
and they start crying, and now they're like, they think they need to feel like they're crying because you reacted that way.
Totally.
That's literally what this is.
They're projecting the emotion that
someone else put on. Like that's just what it is. But they're not crying because they're actually hurt.
No, they're crying because they think that they should feel that way.
Yeah. But like, no, if parents are just like,
let the person react how they want to react.
Yep. And then that type
That's
of meaning
what exists.
Yeah. Boom. I think
I
we
feel
just
like
cured every problem ever.
I think we have the answer to life right now.
I mean, but like kind of
honestly,
but kind of,
yeah.
It kind of boils down to just perspective,
right?
And projection.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
I think another part that comes with feeling embarrassed, an important part of it is taking a look at the situation 360. Going back to, I'm sorry, I know a lot of you guys fucking hate Love Island, but going back to a Love Island example, everyone just came back from Casa Amor and we're seeing a lot.
Remember, this is pre-recorded.
Oh yeah, sorry. It still exists for the whole length of the show.
Of course.
We're seeing a lot right now where two of the girls, they are devastated that their guys were like flirting and got with other women to explore whatever, they're devastated. And all they're saying is, I feel so stupid. I'm so embarrassed. Like, I can't believe this is happening to me. And that feeling of embarrassment is only coming to you because of someone else's actions. And that embarrassment shouldn't be a reflection of you.
And it's not.
It's not. It's only a reflection of them. The embarrassing scenario is only because the other person did something. It's not a reflection of you.
Don't let others' actions / reactions affect
How
your reactions.
Yeah. Not even just reactions, but like
Reaction being feeling embarrassed.
yeah, sure.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we just see it all the time, especially like I said, in this context of like something or even someone cheating in a relationship. You see the person who was cheating on feeling embarrassed, but like you didn't do anything wrong.
That part.
You weren't the one who was cheating. The person who was cheating, they should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I get that, like, usually that feeling of embarrassment comes up because you feel like, well, they felt like they could get away with it, and
why did I not see it coming?
Let this happen to me, and like all of these other aspects. But like the initial occurrence of the situation that you're in, the embarrassment should be put on the person who actually did you wrong, because this happened to you. This isn't something that you asked for. And I'm talking like,
This is more cheating.
Yeah, this is cheating. But like, you just hear it so often.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart when women are embarrassed for the man, when the man is the one who fucked up.
That's what I felt for a long time. It was the same thing where what was going through my head was, how did I not see this coming? Like I felt stupid for not seeing this coming. And it's like, no, I wasn't stupid. I obviously know this now. I wasn't stupid to not see this coming. Like we said, he was stupid to do it. I was just being a human that was putting trust into another human, like we're on this earth to do.
So validly.
Sue me. So yeah.
So like in such a valid way too.
Yeah. Another part of embarrassment that I really want to talk about is, it's so easy to have all these thoughts post embarrassment or embarrassing moment or whatever. But in the moment, how to deal with it, like as it's just happened. The biggest thing I'm going to say in like all caps is just fucking own it.
Own it.
That's all you can do. And you have two options in an embarrassing, or what you think might be an embarrassing, because it's not embarrassing unless you think it's embarrassing. But what you might think is an embarrassing moment is to either like, oh, fuck, run away or leave the party or whatever, negative kind of like hermit reaction would be, or just own it. And almost like, I want to say like almost act like it didn't happen, but not in like a delusional way where it's like, nah, girl, everybody just saw that and you're acting like it didn't happen. But more so like, don't give it this big reaction. Acknowledge it for a beat and then like change the subject, or in a bar setting, like go to the bathroom or like go get a drink, like just diffuse. That's the word I'm looking for.
Diffuse the situation. I wrote something along these lines, something that I do, and it is like another form of diffusing it, but it's not like acting like it didn't happen. It's kind of quite the opposite. I feel like for me, something to take away the embarrassment is to like literally say it out loud. Like if I'm in a bar and I like accidentally trip over my sandal and like do that little hop, I'll look up and I'll be like, oh my God, I just tripped. And then keep walking.
Yes.
Like almost act like this embarrassing thing happened to you, and then, oh, fuck. And then keep going.
That helps. It almost helps to say it out loud, because then you realize how stupid it is.
Yep. You say it out loud and you're like, oh, like of course I just tripped. Like the angle of this chair was in my way. Like it's so obvious. But if you just like trip and then you're like looking around like, fuck, did anyone see? Like, and you start to get in your head, that's when the spiral begins.
Yeah.
But if you just like say it out loud and like let it go,
just move on. It's way quicker of a reaction. I feel like to that it helps. Like if I was in that situation, I'd be like, Alex, I just tripped back there so bad. And you'd be like, oh, fuck, is your shoe okay?
Yeah.
And then we're done.
Yep.
I like to tell a friend.
Yeah.
I like to tell a friend. It helps.
Yeah.
Like that's another way of owning it, honestly, is just make it a quick little funny story.
Yep.
Or a quick little bit, or, you know, whatever. Or like I was saying earlier, a big one for me, when I misspeak or if I pronounce a word wrong, I like to call back with that word.
Yep.
This is more like, I guess, like a comedic
approach.
Call back to that word later in the conversation. So if I pronounced, I hate making examples for this type of shit because it's not as funny as it would be in the moment, but like I pronounced arm wrong, even like later in the day where it's like it's still in people's heads,
still relevant.
I'm talking about like the tattoo on my arm. I'll say arm the way I did earlier.
Yeah.
Just to,
and
like,
then it's like,
I owned it.
Yep.
Like, I guess that's how I say it now. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I do that too.
Yeah. And like, if anybody were to make me actually feel dumb in that moment, like, what did you just say? I'd be like, what? Like, I always like to like put it back on somebody else.
Also, those people are so annoying.
That's why I like to put it back on them. Like, make them feel embarrassed for calling something so ridiculous out.
Or, you know what's like really ridiculous is when you like say you stumble over your words and you say it funky, even if you don't want to address it in the moment, and you just like keep talking, but they'll be like, huh,
right.
And you're like, yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where other people's projections are there to make you feel embarrassed. But if you're not,
you down.
Yeah.
They had to put you down.
That's what gets me. I hate when people do that.
In that situation, I'd be like, you a fucking parrot? Why are you repeating me?
Yeah.
That's where I'll get fucking snappy.
I just say, you know what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
I like to just throw it back on other people though, or like if someone like really challenges something, like again, I hate making examples, but like if they're questioning something that you're doing, and not in like a curious questioning way, and like a judgy questioning way.
Yeah.
I'll rephrase the question back and be like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Mm-hmm. Or like, oh, you're getting Wingstop for dinner? Oh my God, yeah, have you ever had it? Like, I'll completely act like I'll just play dumb and act like they're curious. And it kind of puts it back in their face. It makes
them feel
like ridiculous for asking. Right.
Totally.
Again, the Wingstop example was a little stupid, but you know, when people are just judgy like that and they're like trying to already make you feel bad,
call out their judginess.
Yeah. Hold up the mirror and make them kind of rethink what they just asked. It makes them rethink what they asked, so they realize the real intention behind why they asked it. Mm-hmm. They're only asking because they just wanted to be mean real quick, or that, you know, whatever their projection is that day, which that's another conversation. But yeah, I feel like that's a good way to be like, and
yep. We kind of briefly talked about how this is a learned behavior and it really does get better with age, but I feel like I see all the time. I don't know if it's like specifically women or if it's how we perceive being in our 30s, but you see all the time, the second you turn 30, you just literally don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
And I don't like what's up with the 30s, but I've like had this in the back of my head for probably like 5 or 6 years now. And I'm like waiting for the day that I turn 30 and everything just clicks, because everyone just, all they say is that it clicks when you turn 30.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that just shows as we get older, we just don't give a fuck anymore. And that's a good thing. Like we don't let it get to us.
Yeah. I think it just circles around more time on this earth, and your self-esteem is, not only are you assuming working on it over your young adulthood, but once you hit 30, I mean, you're 30 years into it. It's just now you have more experience with it.
Yeah. I
don't know. I also think a big thing too is like other people's reactions, good or bad. As you get older, you know who you care about. Mm-hmm. You know whose opinions you care about. And if those people aren't part of that list, you don't give a fuck what they think about you. I'm almost 30. I'm 29. But that I can already test to is like, we'll bring it back to an embarrassing situation. I know none of like my real friends would make me feel like any of these terrible examples that we've given you this episode. Like,
right.
And that's enough. So next time you're in an embarrassing situation, maybe let that be another layer of, you know, we got to throw a lesson into this, but like, let that be another layer of a lesson of like, damn, like this person always makes me feel like really embarrassed when I, you know, misspeak or whatever situation is, or when I'm around my crush, they always kind of like put me down and like find something to make me feel embarrassed.
It's a big tell-all.
Yeah, use this as a tool, dude. Like that person is
They're not on your
actively
side.
trying to put you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely something that comes with age too. And I think as we get older, we just know like life's too short to not be ourselves. Life's too short to do anything that's not
Authentic.
authentic and 100% us and for us too. Like if you're out here with the constant worry of feeling embarrassed, you're going to let it dictate everything that you do. And you're not leaving any space to just like be you and do silly shit and
Make mistakes.
yeah.
And they're not embarrassing when you make them. You're just like learning from them and just being a human.
Yep.
And that funny dance move you did that might have been embarrassing, like if your friends aren't out there doing that same stupid dance move with you, like they ain't your friends. If they're not laughing with you, not at you, but with you, they're not your friends. Those aren't the people that you want to be around. Call it delusional, but once you get them out of your life, then you're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Then you
won't feel
probably
it.
feel way less embarrassed a lot more of the time.
because there's nobody around you saying, "Oh," when you fall. Back to the baby example, like
Right.
you're not. There's nobody putting in that like that embarrassment for you. There's nobody
Projecting
dictating
that.
it.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out the word. I'm so embarrassed. I'm sure there's some really big part of this topic that we're forgetting to say. And I feel like we do this every episode, you guys, because then when Patreon comes around, like the follow-up episodes of each week, we're always like, oh, we didn't say that in that episode.
Right.
Oh, so we're probably fucking forgetting something really
It's okay.
big. But
It's super embarrassing.
it's an open conversation. This is like, I'm surprised we haven't talked about this, to be completely honest.
Right.
I don't know. I think about it a lot because
Yeah.
I do be doing a lot of like textbook. I like that word for embarrassing things.
Right.
I do textbook embarrassing things. Do I let them affect me? No. But I felt like it was just so important to talk about that.
Totally.
And you know what? I also just thought of the fucking high five video we did that we put on TikTok and Reels.
Yes.
For some reason, you guys, that video
Did so well.
picked up some fucking algorithm, but then it went to an algorithm where people were like, what the hell are these? This is gross. These are not New Yorkers. Like haters. But the reason I brought this up is because people were like, oh my God, like my rejection wounds could never handle the people that walked past and didn't give high fives. And that kind of goes with this, where like,
Yeah.
it left my mind.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't even think about it.
and
yeah.
and like the people who were sitting around us at that lunch who saw us get rejected high fives, they're not thinking about it either.
No. And the people who were actually next to us were like hyping us up.
Oh no,
like,
I loved it.
That part of like rejection that would typically give someone embarrassment. That's not something, thankfully, like I don't have the fear of rejection, or I don't take rejection personally. That could be another episode too. We could talk about rejection.
I'd love to talk about rejection.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think that's
that'll be one
something
for the books.
that we can do like a deeper dive into.
Yeah. So help us out with that in the comments. Not only let us know how you handle embarrassment, but for topic in the future, what are some things about rejection or embarrassment? Like we said, we keep the conversation going. Maybe it'll be like a part 2. That you struggle with, or that have helped you in the past, or, you know, what is that like one quote that maybe you live by that clicked in your head and now ever since you've been like a different person?
Yep.
Because I do feel like that's what the quote we started this episode with really has done for me. So I hope it helps you guys too. Like fucking write it at the top of your planner so you could see it every day. Set it as your phone back screen if you're some phone back screen. Phone screen. Lock
Screensaver.
Lock screen.
Your lock screen.
Your lock screen.
The back.
I said a back screen. What the fuck is a back screen?
A screensaver. No, that
Your lock
that
screen.
really ages me.
Set it right. Your wallpaper. Set it as your lock
Lock
screen. and remind yourself, because it's fucking true.
Yeah.
And live by it, and you will be at peace. It will solve all your problems. Guaranteed. Or your money back.
Guaranteed. And like we mentioned earlier, we do have a Patreon where every week you get an extra episode. So that's 4 episodes a month extra that you get on Fridays. They usually have something to do with the Monday topics that we talk about with you here. A lot of the times they're just like general advice. So we do a lot of advice columns there as well.
Yep. If you're part of our Patreon, write into our DMs through Patreon. That's how you guys can talk to us. We also have a Discord where everyone's talking there 24/7.
Yep.
There's just a whole lot going on there. It's a lot of fun. But as always, that's patreon.com/Oddvice podcast. Or if you're here on YouTube for our Mondays, we love and appreciate you as well. Just make sure you're subscribed and turn on your notifications. That's really nice. And then
if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, rate us 5 stars and leave a review. And the reviews are actually a good place to give us topic episode ideas. So throw those in there. We'll go look through those and leave us 5 stars. It really helps us out a ton.
And you could follow us on Instagram at Oddvice Podcast, at Kristen McT, and at alexcoat.jpg.
And we also have merch, which we don't talk about enough.
I was like, oh yeah, dude, we're so bad at this.
Yeah, it's not even merch.
You know what? Deadass, I feel embarrassed right now. Like, I hate self-promoting.
Yeah, but we have a deck of cards that we designed.
We fully designed these. Like, literally, you guys, Bicycle, it's a collab deck with Bicycle, by the way. Bicycle playing cards, like the playing cards that you know and love since literally the day we were born.
It's an Oddvice deck.
They sent us a blank thing of fucking squares. Yeah. And we started from the ground up. Literally, we were like,
this is our design.
Every little nook and cranny you see on the front and the back of every card, the whole box, all of it. We're really, really proud of it, and we don't talk about it enough.
No.
So,
but it's on bicycle.com.
Yeah, the Deck of Decks is what it's called. Deck O Decks, and that's always linked down in the description of both audio and visual. So check it out.
Check it out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. We love you.
Have a good week.
I'm really excited I know right now, hello, future Alex and Kristen. We're enjoying our camping trip, all the above, but I am really eager to get back on schedule, because I always we love talking to you guys in the beginning of these episodes about things that we're like actually relevant, going through in that moment.
Yeah.
But next week will be the last pre-recorded, and then we're back on like
just your OG
up to date, up to speed episodes. So I'm sure we'll have so much to catch you up on. So stay with us. But have a great week, and we will talk to you next week.
Love you. Bye.